So Progressive Sports has been running for 10 years now, as we started back in 2006. Sport was definitely something I was really passionate from. So from school and playing PE at school, and probably was never good enough to actually go on to play it professionally. So sometimes coaching's the second best thing. I didn't have a massive amount of money to go and spend on offices, and it wasn't necessarily necessary. So it was operated from my parents' house because I was still residing there.
We had a leather Chesterfield sofa, and that sofa was shaped the shape of Eddie. He used to curve up like that. You could see where he'd lay on it for so many years.
We quickly got a couple of contracts with schools, which obviously give us security in terms of I had enough work, Sean had enough work, and we very much kind of forged strong relationships with those schools in the early days, and then organically grew the business.
It was very busy. You know, as soon as I'd finish one school, I was off to the next, and so on. Didn't really have much time to ourselves, and the times that we did have was spent doing administration work in his bedroom.
So that the first year's success obviously allowed us, me personally, to obviously go and buy a property, which is an important step for most people, is getting on that property ladder. So we had the income coming into the business, which allowed me to obviously do that. My mum was glad to get me out of the house because I was 26, 27. We had some great growth between 2007 and 2009 as we acquired lots of new customers. We actually doubled the turnover year on year for 3 consecutive years. So it illustrated to us that we had a good model, a model that was working, a model that could scale.
Schools were quickly spreading the word. Schools wanted quality, they knew where to come, and I still believe we're working with a lot of schools that we had contact with 10 years ago, which obviously means that, you know, as a company we are evolving and we are doing the correct things.
Adam Shakesheave, he came on board in 2008 and has been integral in the growth of the company. So we decided to franchise the model back in 2009. The whole process took around about 8 to 12 months, and we worked with a consultant, spending at least once a week going across and working with Ken, and Ken would go through the things that I needed to implement and put in place, the operations manual and all these things which are integral really to a franchised business. Without taking that step or financially committing that money to actually go ahead and franchise the business, we probably wouldn't be where we are today, and it's been a great journey and we met some great people along the way. Our first exhibition that we attended to kind of publicise the Progressive Sports model was at the NEC in October 2010. We generated lots of leads on that day, but one particular lead and one particular person that stood out was Kevin Watts, who later became our franchisee for South East London.
He won a prestigious award, Best New Business in his area, and I think he fought off 60 other businesses to win it.
So Kevin Watts, what does it feel like to be a winner of Best New Business?
When I think back to where I was like 18 months ago, looking for a new opportunity, possibly going back into the job market with somebody else, I met Eddie Ray and he gave me the inspiration to set up my own franchise in South East London. 18 months of hard graft, building a new team, putting the effort in, putting the hours in. This is what it's all about.
For the government to announce that there's some additional funding being pumped into school sport was just music to our ears.
Although we saw significant growth in the first 3 years, it wasn't really till 2013 again that we saw a huge spike in our growth.
The impact that it's having at the moment is of such a high nature. Obviously we're now 2 or 3 years down the line, and the impact is starting to show. The government pumped some money in, and for next year it's going to be doubled because they're really happy with the impact.
When Sean come back, actually Sean approached me. I don't think he was particularly enjoying the job that he was in.
My roots lied in sport, and it was something I'm very passionate about.
I knew we needed a franchise manager. Having worked with Sean and known Sean, I knew he could do it because he's very personable. Sean was just a natural fit. So in March 2014 we did a cycle challenge for sport relief. So we cycled to all the schools that we work with, which was over 50 schools.
You know, on average I think we travelled about 30 to 40 miles per team.
Me and Sean led the way though. We were the first people back, so the two oldest people in the business were the first people back. We did rub it in a little bit.
We had to carry some people through. We were supposed to meet back at a central location for 3 o'clock. That didn't work. I think some actually went to the pub.
It was an absolutely brilliant day, so it was great to raise money for such a great cause and also bring the team together and do something outside of work. So reflecting on things from when we first started back in 2006, which is essentially just me and Sean, the business has changed drastically in quite a short period of time, obviously taking on our first franchisee, through to now having over 20 franchise territories with around about 16, 17 franchisees, also working with lots and lots of children, so approximately 50,000 children a week we'll be working with through the services that we're delivering into schools and into communities. So the vision of creating an impact in schools and communities is definitely happening. Do we stop here? No. And do we want to continue to grow the business? The answer is yes, because it is about the impact and it is about getting children active and involved and engaged in sport.
I'm proud to be part of something that is making a real difference to not only our schools but our communities as well.
I'd like to thank all the staff that have kind of worked for myself over the last 8 years, and that's not just within the head office, that's within the franchise network. I suppose the main thanks needs to go to the MD, Eddie, to form the 10th year anniversary trading and look at the position that he's in. It's a big hands off. You know, well done, Eddie. Congratulations, keep up the good work, and you know, we will continue to work hard for you. Good on you, mate.